So many grades and essays depend upon these 16 words, often lauded for the profound simplicity of these words. The Red Wheelbarrow by William Carlos Williams is a poem that I don't know if I've ever talked about on the channel, but is one that was maybe foundational in my breaking through understanding what poetry really is and how to read it in an academic fashion, in a fashion of inquiry. But I want to talk about the Red Wheelbarrow today in a way that is a little bit different than the norm. So, well, let's just get into a reading. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens. Now, normally, the discussion around this poem has to do with the simplicity of the poem, just 16 words. It's just images. We are dealing not with ideas, but things. So much depends upon, but that's the only statement of sentiment that we have through this poem. The rest of it is just pointing at different artifacts. The red wheelbarrow, it's glazed with rain beside the white chickens. But we are able to read into this. So much depends upon the red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white rain. We're looking probably at a farm type situation. We're looking at a family that does depend on the wheelbarrow. The wheelbarrow does not just get used to feed the chicken. It does not just get used to move manure. It does not just get used to move bags of concrete powder. Like, all of these things are for what the red wheelbarrow is used. So you are saying so much. You are giving us a little bit of. So you. One of the things that is interesting is that often implied in this poem is a vantage point. We are looking at the red wheelbarrow. From where are we looking at the red wheelbarrow? It must be somewhere on the farm. It must be somewhere with a vantage point. There are interpretations as to what that means as well, but that's all extracurricular to the poem. And that's sort of the point with this poem. There is a lot going on in these 16 words, but everything that you're going to argue for this poem, with this poem, about this poem, has to be brought into it. It does not simply exist in the poem. That is what literary criticism is. Now, I want to make a different type of argument with this poem. I want to bring in the idea of hauntology with this poem. Hauntology being roughly the future has been canceled. That's sort of the wrap up phrase with which hauntology is often explained. The future has been canceled. One of the hallmarks of a hauntological argument, a hauntological piece of art, a hauntological interpretation, is ghosts from the past still affecting the present. And by all means, that's basically all a ghost is. That is definitional to what a ghost is. But in this poem, it is very interesting to me that we are focusing on such an agrarian symbol as the red wheelbarrow. Now, William Carlos Williams, early 1900s poet. I believe this poem was published around 1919. Do not quote me. I did not look it up. I think it's in that area, just about. So, still in the world where this poem was published, the wheelbarrow meant a little bit more than it does today with all of the machinery that we have in today's world. But even in the time, even contemporarily with William Carlos Williams, the wheelbarrow was a fading symbol. Here's what I want to talk about with this poem: the wheelbarrow as a symbol of the future having been canceled. What does the future is canceled mean? If you went back 50 years and you asked people in the 1970s, what will the year 2020 look like? Oh man, they're going to have flying cars. Every home will have a robot. No one will have to walk anywhere. Instead, we've got TikTok. Isn't that an even trade? That's the idea of the future being canceled. Now, if I ask you today, in the year 2024, what will 2074 look like? We have answers not readily available. We probably can get around to saying something we think will be true in 2074, but it takes us a minute. Whereas in the past, people would just, oh yeah, they'll have flying cars. It'll be awesome. Every home will have a robot. It'll be crazy. Your toast will be done in 2.3 seconds. It'll be amazing. Toasters, they're always getting better. The symbol of the wheelbarrow in today's society is a little bit, in hauntological terms, a, a symbol of a promised future canceled. There are still wheelbarrows. You've probably used a wheelbarrow at some point in your life. The future as we have it is not as the past would have thought. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow. Now, you want to say we don't use wheelbarrows anymore. You want to say you've never touched one, etc., etc. You want to say people working in your apartment complex, people working in your neighborhood, people who have lawns, you've never seen one used. Okay, you've seen something equivalent. Maybe it's just a wheelbarrow with a gas-powered motor attached to it, right? In this way, the symbol of the wheelbarrow, the symbol even of the chickens. If you went back, this can be even 30 years, the early 90s. I remember cartoons and movies and things like that. People thought that in the future, people will just take pills instead of eating meals. You'll just pop a pill, it's a meal pill. You'll be full, you'll be happy, you'll have energy and nutrients. We're still on the chickens. If we are going to go further down this road of what does this mean about the future, if we get to a point again where so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, does that mean that not only is the future canceled, but the future is regressive? That something has happened that made the future less technologically advanced than the present? It is curious, at least, how much apocalyptic fiction has sprung up in the past 15, 20 years. How much apocalyptic fiction catches traction, and why? Is it because we know on some base level that the future we thought we were creating has been canceled? That the future we thought we were creating is no longer reachable? You can't get there from here? So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rain beside the chickens. That wheelbarrow being a symbol of the past, a symbol of the past, which in specter-like fashion has never quite gone away. That's all I have for this poetry discussion. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other literature lovers. And if you find yourself here by chance but not design, the literature is the only thing I talk about on this channel. Dropping poetry videos every Monday. There are multiple videos every week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.